Yo, what's up? It's your boy Salvaje from the Salvaje Cartel. Here's my review on the powder keg bow. It's just gonna be a quick review, guys, because I'm just gonna binge watch anime for a couple of days. Like, trust me, after working 11-hour work days for like almost an entire week on the 100 endgame tips video, like all I want to do is just like do fun shit. Okay, powder keg bow. I reviewed it with full legendary perks on quadra damage with the energy element also legendary perks. I also reviewed it on a defensive and offense mission, and of course I used it with a hero that makes bows good and a hero that doesn't really buff the weapon or makes it weak. I wanted to see how the weapon is overall, and overall this weapon is trash. Don't spend your schematic XP on it, don't spend your perk up on it. First of all, let's talk about the arrow. It takes 2 seconds for the explosion to proc. In 2 seconds a lot of things can happen, okay? Another thing about the arrow, you need to make sure that you shoot it to a target that's going to give you value when it comes down to the explosion. For example, if you shoot an arrow to just one target with this bow, you're not going to get a lot of value out of the explosion, because maybe the target might go down, or maybe that one target is going to go down, but it's barely going to do any damage in the first place. When I was first using the powder keg bow, I was like, this thing is actually pretty good, because I was doing a defensive mission and my teammates were picking up my slack big time. But yeah, then I realized, wait a minute, I'm not doing shit. Like, most of my teammates are freaking carrying me and this bow isn't really being as useful. And that's when it hit me. I was like, wait a minute, I could just use a xenon bow, a boom bow, a cloudburst bow, a Vindertech Seeker bow, or the vacuum tube bow to get better performance and help out my teammates even better than I'm helping them with this powder keg bow. I felt like using this powder keg bow sort of put me at a handicap. Then I went to an offensive mission because I wanted to test out how this bow was, you know, when it came down to like how good it was at handling a crowd of husk and all that stuff, and it was actually pretty decent, right? But then I realized, wait a minute, I could just use a boom bow, a xenon bow, a cloudburst bow, a Vindertech Seeker, or the vacuum tube bow, which is extremely overpowered when it comes down to a lot of crowds of husk. So you guys are sort of catching my drift so far. This bow just is really bad. Don't get me wrong, it's actually somewhat decent if you have teammates that are doing a lot of AoE and are taking out enemies very quickly. So it's not a bow that's complete garbage. But it's definitely a 3 out of 5 star in my book. It just lacks consistency in important areas. And to be honest, the only reason why I'm giving it a 3 out of 5 stars is because when it comes down to regular basic husk and blasters, this thing with quadra damage on legendary perk is actually somewhat decent and can help you out. Like, as you guys can see in this level 140 encampment mission, I'm doing a pretty decent job at taking out multiple husks very quickly. Also, the arrow, when you shoot a refrigerator husk with the arrow and you hit the refrigerator, it instantly explodes. So that's really good too. The reason why this thing is a 3 out of 5 star weapon, a semi-reliable weapon instead of a 4 out of 5 star weapon, despite the fact that it's doing very well, as you guys can see on this 140 encampment mission, is because I realized that when there were more husks at play and when you needed to do a lot of AoE damage very quickly, compared to other options out there, this bow just wasn't really able to be very reliable or as reliable as some of the other options, like of course the vacuum tube bow and the xenon bow, just to name 2. Okay, like I would have chosen the boom bow 10 out of 10 times for this 140 encampment mission when we got to like the hard encampments. Okay, also when it comes down to high priority targets like husky husk and mist monsters, this thing does not do a lot of damage, even with quadra damage perks. Like, there are other better options out there. It does damage to somewhat help out. Again, that's why I'm giving it a 3 out of 5 star instead of a 2 out of 5 star. But when it comes out to reliable damage that you can count on to destroy a specific husk and help out your team, it's just not good enough. Like, when it comes down to priority targets, this bow is just not the way. I mean, this smasher that you guys are seeing in the gameplay example, he's getting tickled. I have 4 damage perks on it and it's literally touching this smasher. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you enjoyed it, feel free to drop it a like and be on the lookout for my 100 endgame tips video. I hope you're subscribed because I'm going to be doing a 5,000 V-Buck giveaway on my 100 endgame tips video. So make sure that you guys are on the lookout for it. I'll be seeing you on the next one. Peace out.